Assalamualikum OyaRahmatullahe OyaBarakatuhu. Welcome to my virtual classroom, MKA Classroom. Now let's start today's video tutorial. So today we will try to start effects of public expenditures. Effects of public expenditure. This is our today's topic. It means that effect of public expenditure means if the government use its tools, then what will happen to the economy? That means public expenditure is the tools of the government to magnify the economic activity or reduce the economic problem or depreciations in the economy. Government use this weapon to solve the all kind of problem in the economy. So effects on public expenditure that should be effect on production of public expenditure, effect on distribution of public expenditure, then effect on level of income and employment. So these things will be try to discuss today. Effects on level of income and employment. This is two most important things. That's why we are going to discuss this topic. Effects of public expenditure on level of income and employment. That means we know that economy has two conditions, basically normal condition. Then if economy is not normal, then it should be recession or inflation. So if economy is in inflation, then government need not these tools. That means public expenditure, these tools are not using by the time of inflation. But if the economy is in recession, then government need these tools, that is public expenditures. So it is clear that government is using public expenditure as its tools at the time of recession in the economy. And now we are try to clear the time of recession. So at the time of recession, the income of the people gone decreases, and employment rate of the economy also decreases at the time of recession. So it is clear to us that at the time of recession, economy is going down, where income also decreases and also employment also decreases in the economy. So it is clear that at the time of recessions, government try to utilize these tools to solve all the problems. So these public expenditures affect the level of income and employment in the country. So famous economist Keynesian has shown that the government can remove all the widespread unemployment during the period of depreciation or recessions through liberal public expenditure on the public works. It can thus raise the level of income and employment in the country. So Mr. Keynes has shown that Mr. Keynes had shown that at the time of recession or depreciation, government can use public expenditures on the public works. So that's why it can rise the level of income and employment. Income and employment, it also increases. So Keynesian showed that when the government increases its investment expenditure on public works, then the increase in level of income and employment in the country will not merely equal to the increase in income and employment in those activities. So it is clear that government increases its public expenditure as like 3 taka, its effect in the economy is more than 3 taka. That means its effect on the level of income and employment is more than 3 taka. That's the Keynes showed in his example, that it will merely more than its expenditures in the income and employment. That's why Mr. Keynes has introduced the income multiplier in his theory. Income multiplier in his theory, that is 1 divided by 1 minus MPC, marginal propensity to consume, MPC. It seems that marginal propensity to consume, MPC, M marginal, P propensity to consume, that means the rate of consume. If you income more than 1 taka, what is its amount that you are going to consume, as like 50 paisa you are going to consume if you want more than 1 taka before, and 50 paisa you are going to save. Then what will be your income multiplier? Income multiplier would be 1 divided by 1 minus 0.5. That means you are going to consume 50 paisa when you earn more than 1 taka. Then it shows your income multiplier. So what will our income multiplier? Income multiplier would be 1 divided by 0.5, that means 2. That means if the government of the state, if the government public expenditure is 100 taka in the economy, its effect should be 100 into 2. That means 2 200 taka in the economy. If the government utilize its public expenditure tools for the increasing income level and employment, then its effect should be 200 taka in the economy. So it is clear to us that Keynes has said that what the amount government should expend for increasing level of income and expenditure, it is more than that amount, So here it is clear that. So in this community we are seeing that marginal propensity to consume is 50 paisa consume, then its income multiplier is 2. Then again we are going to see another example. If this community has the marginal propensity to consume is 70 paisa per taka. 70 paisa per taka. That means its marginal propensity to save is 30 paisa. So we know that marginal propensity to consume plus marginal propensity to save equal to 1. This is the general rules. So we assume that this community, as like Sylhet city community, has a marginal propensity to consume is 70% or 70 paisa per taka. That means 70 paisa per taka. So what will be the multiplier, income multiplier of this Sylhet city people? So we know that income multiplier equal to 1 divided by 1 minus MPC. So 1 divided by 1 minus 0.70 is our marginal propensity to save. Then what will happen to our income multiplier? Then 1 minus 0.7 equal to 0.3. 1 divided by 0.3 equal to 3.33 is our income multiplier. So if the Bangladeshi government expend 100 taka for Sylhet city, then what will happen of its level of income and expenditure, income and employment? So 3.33 into 100, that is the effect of level of income and employment is 333 taka in the economy. So it is clear to us that, so in this way government can increase its level of income and employment. So these things can be explained by a graph. So as like this is our graph. In x-axis shows the national income, and y-axis shows the aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Aggregate demand and aggregate supply. And we know that as per the rules, 45% degree is the supply curve, aggregate supply curve. So OZ is our aggregate supply curve. OZ is our aggregate supply curve. So here OX equal to national income, OY aggregate supply, demand and supply curve, and OZ is our aggregate supply curve. So we know that if aggregate demand curve cuts the aggregate supply curve, that is the equilibrium position of the economy. That means where demand equal to supply equal to national income of the people, or national employment of the people, income and employment of the people in the economy. We know the things. So here is our aggregate demand curve, C plus I, consumption plus income, C plus I, that is our aggregate demand curve, cuts the E point, and OY bar is our national income and employment in the economy. So point E is the equilibrium position of the economy. If the economy faces the recession, then the point should be lower in here. If the government prepare the budget for increasing this level of income and expenditure, then government can make investment, make the public expenditures. Government can make the public expenditures. So if the government imposes public expenditure, then the demand curve will increases in here, that is C plus I plus government, consumption plus income plus government. That means government increases its public expenditures, point E to point A's. Government increases its public expenditure, E to A's, E to A's. That means this amount of expenditures government increases in its public expenditure, that is EA's. EA's amount of expenditures government try to increase public expenditure to enhancing the level of income and employment of the state. So whenever government increases its public expenditures, then our equilibrium point shift E to F. Before investing or before public expenditure has launched, then our equilibrium position is in E. But whenever government increases its public expenditures, then equilibrium position shift E to F, because here demand curve cuts the supply curve by the point F, and whenever we draw the line of our employment, it shows OY2. OY2. That means it increases its level of income and expenditures. So it is clear that government increases its expenditures only EH amount, but income increases OY1 to OY2, OY1 to OY2, which is more than EH amount, which is too much. OY2 is more than, that means you can say Y1 to Y2 is more than EH amount of public expenditure. That is the effect of public expenditures in the economy. That is the effects of public expenditures in the economy. So here we see that if the government only increases its amount, EH amount of government expenditures to enhancing level of income and employment in the economy, it enhances more multiplier than the level of income and employment, that's Y1 and Y2. That means OY1 to OY2 is more than EH amount. So it is clear that the effect of public expenditures on level of income and employment is more than the public expenditures because of income multiplier effect. Income multiplier effects. Income multiplier effects. And here we are trying to discuss in the several examples. So if the government expenditures 100 taka, its effect in the economy 333 taka. So here you see that if this is 100 taka, then its effect is 333 taka. 333 taka effect. These are the effect, and these are our public expenditures. So this 100's effect here 333 taka as an example. So here one thing you have to remember, that if the people's or marginal propensity to consume is large, then the effect is large. That means if the people like to consume, if the people in the city are like to consume, then effect in the economy will be large. So this is all about our effect on level of income and employment of public expenditure. This all about today. Stay home, stay safe. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuhu.